Assalamualaikum. My name is Atarunisha binti Mama Amin. My metric number is 2020990367. I'm going to talk about point 1.0, 2.0 and 4.1. Thank you. Malaysia is a constitutional monarchy with a parliamentary democracy. The country is divided into 3 levels of government, which is federal, state and local, with national and state elections held on a regular basis. After that, local government elections, on the other hand, have not been held since they were stopped in 1965. The Malaysian Constitution provides for local government and the main governing legislation for the main peninsula in the Local Government Act 1976. While the states of Sabah and Sarawak have the Local Authorities Ordinance 1996 and the Local Government Ordinance 1961. While local governments are under the jurisdiction of their respective state governments, the Ministry of Housing and Local Government is in charge of drafting, enforcing and monitoring all local government laws, while local governments in the federal territories are under the jurisdiction of the Ministry of Federal Territories. In addition, in Malaysia, city councils, municipal council and district council are the 3 types of local government. Women made up 13.1% of the appointed councillors in 2011. Taxes, non-tax revenue and federal and state government allocations are the 3 main sources of revenue for local governments. The 3 types of local government each have a different set of obligations that reflect their size and capacity. Local government is the 3rd tier of government in Malaysia, and it plays a vital role in expanding policies and implementing appropriate initiatives and programs passed by the federal and state governments. After that, Malaysia's establishment of local government is linked to the development of British influence in the region. It began in Peninsular Malaysia and quickly spread to Sabah and Sarawak. The organisation and structure of Malaysia's local government system play a significant role in its operation. After that, the legislative framework as well as the relationships that exist between local authorities, the federal government and the state government have an impact on them. The local government is an infra-sovereign, which means it has no sovereignty at all and is only sovereign if it is expressly provided for by any specific legislation derived from the higher government. The Malaysian Local Government Act 1976, Kerajaan Tempatan was passed to amend and consolidate local government regulation.
Assalamualaikum to Sir Muhammad Ibrahim. My name is Muhammad Amar Aidid bin Abdul Rahman, the metric number 2020950721 from AM1105C. The next part is main provision. Malaysia have 3 level of government: the federal government, the state government and the local government. The federal government is the highest level of government in our country, followed by state government and local government. The federal government has a lot of authority and responsibility since they oversee taking care of the country and making policies. But because they have so much power, they delegate part of it to the local governments. The federal government legislate the local government Act 171 in Parliament, which give and guides the local government on what powers and tasks they may execute under this act. According to the Local Government Act, the local government can carry out its duties successfully, but it cannot carry out tasks that are not within its purview. This is specific in the local government Act 171, which includes 16 parts beginning with Part 1, which is preliminary, and ending with Part which is about exceptional provision. For our evaluation, we might address two major elements of the local government Act 171, which pertains to its function and financial capabilities. Even if the local government did not have a great deal of authority in terms of functions and financial capabilities, there are some tasks that they can undertake in relation to these two primary provisions, and the federal government trusted the local governments to do. Main provisions Local Government Act 171 function. According to the Local Government Act of 1976, local governments have the authority to carry out and perform any of the provisions of the Federal Constitution, FC. If we look at the Local Government Act 1976, Act 171, we can see that some of the portion have outlined the function of the local government. Therefore, we will explore some of them because local government have numerous functions. Some of the roles that the local government can do include service functions, regulatory functions, representation function, community planning and coordination functions, and participation functions. This is significant because the environment of that location will be cared for by the local government, and if the local government fails to do its job, it will result in a horrible atmosphere and people living in an uncomfortable situation. The local government manage such things as rubbish collection, which is bad for the environment. Therefore, the local government will play their duty in collecting garbage, but for the time being, we can see that the local government has selected the private sector to manage this waste. This act has improved the performance of local government, which the local government will play their role which they need to hear the needs and demands from people, because this should be their prioritized main agenda and cannot be labeled secondary for the local government, because they need to serve the public as a stakeholder. It has been demonstrated by the legislation that Malaysian local government are doing their utmost to serve the people, resulting in improved local government performance. According to Act 171 Section 102, the local government can adopt laws from time to time, as well as alter and repeal them if they believe it is necessary. Different local governments have their own bylaws, since the legislation only applies to one location and is not relevant to another. Local government represent the people in their area. Hence, they have a legal obligation to carry out the requirements imposed by the Local Government Act 1993 and other legislation, as well as to act in the best interest of the community and electors. Malaysia practiced local government election in 1950, so people could vote for the person they want to represent for local government in their constituencies.
Assalamualaikum, saya Ibrahim. My name is Buku Muhammad Amkar bin Kutahin and my matric number is 20209021. I'm going to talk about the main provision Local Government Act 171 Part 5 in financial power. The local government has the authority to manage their own finance under this authority. The term financial autonomy refers to the ability of local government to obtain their own financial resources and use them in accordance with the provision of the Act. If we look at the Local Government Act 171 196781-71, we can see that there are sections that specify the power, such as Part 5, General Financial Provision. Next, in Section 29A of the Act provides that the local government can impose taxes, rent, license fees, and other relevant things on this section. And if the local government does not impose this thing, they can create income for their own local government. However, the local government has the authority to issue license to those who want to start a business. Thus, the person must first obtain authorization from the local government and the agencies concerned, and then apply for the license.
Local government's ability to manage their territory. The crucial aspect that must be granted to the local government is full authority or power. This is to ensure that the local government can carry out all of its responsibilities in order to improve the effectiveness and efficiency of its operations. This will also lessen to the difficulty of the decision-making process. The projects or operations of the local government in a certain territory will fail if they lack the capability to carry out their tasks. The local government's capability can be measured in terms of the revenue and resources. Local government has its own responsibilities and operations, thus it plainly need adequate revenue and resources. This allocation will ensure that the programs or activities can be implemented without any future complications or issue. These issue or difficulties must be addressed by the local governments since they will have an impact on the smooth functioning of programs or activities.
Hi, Assalamualaikum to Sir Muhammad Ibrahim. Hi, my name is Nabila Indonesia and my student ID to 0209559293 and I am from AM1105C. Now I will present about the environment and safety issue. Okay, so the local government is responsible for ensuring any opportunity to improve the quality of the environment underneath its jurisdiction. This obligation can be perceived through the environmental perspective in terms of cleanliness, consistent and effective administration for continuous natural resources, and sensitivity. This environment and safety problem is significant because it is affect the folks who live in their territory. That one was of the Council's major objective in policy formulation, implementation and oversight. Seberang Perai have some natural resources that may be discovered in the areas such as the ocean, hills and the land area. As a result, it demonstrates why MBSP must be able to handle challenges in order to fulfill their goals in the territory. Despite the difficulty in controlling the environment, local governments such as the MBSP must also deal with the issue concerning safety in the jurisdiction. This is one of the most crucial issues or threats that could be attempts to develop a secure city. For example, consider the land of Seberang Perai Pulau Pinang. The management of this area is the responsibility of the Seberang Perai City Council or MBSP. The features are visible in terms of working and living. Next is issue in planning the administration system. The administration system must be planned in order to improve performance and to have clear practice of responsibility and roles with each government level. Any issue that happen may have an impact on the efficacy and efficiency of the local government and carry out their tasks and function in their territory. Consider the issue that arise where there is interventory in local governance. It is critical to avoid any interference in local governance administration since they will have an impact on the performance and function provided to the people inside the region. The political choice is the interference that may occur and also be caused by the top level of government. This will have an impact on planning as well as the ability of local government to provide service in their region.
The next point are the lack of understanding the law. If there is no comprehension or knowledge of the legislation, the local government will be less able to investigate and improve their jurisdiction in order to deliver services. This happened when it was thought to generate and increase the financial fund. For example, consider the failure of the local government to fully implement Part 5 of the Local Government Act 1967 Act 171, which include provision for investment, mortgage and debenture stock. There will be no problems in the future if the local government can gain a better understanding of the law pertaining to the concern. In fact, local government will benefit because they will be able to establish a harmonious and sustainable environment within their jurisdiction boundaries.
Assalamualaikum and hi, good morning to Sir Ibrahim and all of you. My name is Mumtaz Najihah binti Jantan. My matric number is 2020973415. I'm the next presenter that will be explained about the recommendation on how to improve the performance of local government. So basically, in this world, if his government performs its duty as best as it can, his country will definitely be good and developed from time to time. Similarly, if the rule is not managed appropriately, the country and its people will probably accept the impact and may even grow more backward. There are 4 recommendations that will be highlighted to improve the performance of our local governments.
In addition, for the next point, the recommendation on how to improve the performance of local government. The performance of municipal government is constantly criticized by society. This is because municipal government are frequently characterized as low, and one of the recommendations are by appoint professional to serve in local council. The first proposal for improving local government performance is to appoint a professional to serve on the local council. This is due to the fact that in Malaysia, some members of the local council are not professional. When the members who serve on the council are not professional, the council performance and effectiveness suffer. This problem arises because when people are not professional, they do not know how to work properly. Some local government officials argue that in order to nominate, the Local Government Act of 1967 must be amended, Act 171. This is because it not only acts as a check and balance on how local authorities' power and duties are carried out, but it also encourages good governance in local government.
So for the next point is continuous training and skill workshop. The second recommendation is that the local government provide continuous training and skill workshop to its employees and workers. Nowadays, workers and skills competency are essential. To make this happen, the local government officer must provide continuous training and skill workshop to the staff. Local government employees, for example, are sent to the public training institution and other classes such as computer classes. This is because in this modern era, a computer skills is one of the skills that all workers must have. In this regard, public training institutes' competence and capability will be increased in attempt to reach the training needs of the public sector personnel, because then they will take the most crucial aspect of the instruction. I think that's all from me. Thank you and Assalamualaikum, sir.
Regarding to this recommendation, the government is continuously concerned with initiatives to enhance the quality of public services. A high-quality public service will be able to carry out its task effectively while also providing the greatest possible service to the public. In this endeavor, the government has taken a variety of steps, including providing quality management training, hosting seminars and workshops, and also producing handbooks. I think most of you knows about the TQM, which is the Total Quality Management, that emphasize the process of improvement and continual improvement when it comes to quality continuous improvement. This approach includes carefully planned activities as well as long-term goal-oriented tactics. This approach incorporates the entire organization in order to complete engagement in which all resources and strengths are fully engaged in process improvement. So let's go to the next slide. In my opinion, if the government providing more service channels, it will facilitate the affairs of the people. Not only they no longer have to rush to government agencies and queue long and take a long time to get a service, but they can also avoid getting stuck in traffic jams. Actually, the focus is on the digitization of government service delivery by leveraging the Industrial Revolution 4.0. We call it as IR 4.0, which is geared towards the initiative of end-to-end E2E online services. Through this method, citizens no longer need to attend government agencies, and services can be obtained completely online from the beginning to the end of the process. We can probably say it is accessible anytime and anywhere. So the government's efforts to improve the E2E service will continue despite some challenge. Among the challenges identified are reluctance to change, constraints of existing acts, circulars, regulations, and guidelines that are not in line with the aspirations of digitizing service delivery. So people can see the successful implementation of e-filing by the Inland Revenue Board (IRB) should be emulated. The people were initially educated to use computers at the LHDN office and eventually no longer had to visit the LHDN office to pay taxes. This is an example of an E2E service delivery system that has been successfully implemented for the convenience of the people. Everything will be easier with technology at your fingertips. At the same time, operations at counter services can be reduced and existing staff can be placed in service more in need. So, can you share your experience in government agencies?
In conclusion, the local administration at 171 should improve the efficiency and effectiveness of Malaysian local government. The legislation created to manage local authority affairs grant local authorities broad discretionary powers and carrying out their tasks relating to administration, planning, and development control in local authority regions. These abilities are required to assist them in carrying out the huge tasks bestowed upon them. The ability to reimburse local governments for damage caused by carelessness is a necessary evil. This power, however, must not be unrestrained, since it might lead to abuse of discretion. The courts frequently refrain from interfering with the rights of municipal planning bodies. Case law analysis emphasizes that the fact discretionary powers are not completely free of judicial review and supervision. To avoid the court from disputing their choice, the local authority, like any other administrative or government agency, must utilize their powers prudently and within the bounds provided by law. That's all from my group. Thank you.